Tea in the Dark, episode 5. One thing I wonder about is, who am I out here producing these ideas with the intent to share them with others? What makes these ideas of value? And that's something I think about a lot because, of course, if I want these ideas to spread, they should be valuable to others. So I must ask myself, what makes these ideas worth sharing? And I think that there's two key aspects to this. The first one is the idea of a story. The idea of something unique that's happened to me that I would tell others in part for entertainment. I think that this is of value, but the smaller of the two, because I don't want to be famous for what I have done. I've had relationships and friends and family and travels and creative works and academic experiences, all of which are at times funny and at times perhaps educational and in general entertaining. But that's not my primary goal. When writing my book, I found myself leaning towards wanting to share stories in a sort of cathartic way because it feels good to tell someone. That's adjacent to therapy, that's adjacent to a good friend, that's adjacent to a good listener. But the primary goal is this other thing, which is the idea of sharing ideas because thinking that those ideas might be valuable to others. And that's what I'd like to focus on in general. What makes these ideas worth sharing, independent of the gentle entertainment value because I might be telling a funny personal story. The reason I consider these ideas worth sharing is because I've got a core philosophy regarding being human. We might use the word soul because our bodies are pretty different in general, because you grow up or you're born a certain gender or your body works a certain way. Not a huge deal talking about the specifics. We all know it, you know. Everyone you know is different from you in some way, unless the only person you know is your twin. Why would I even bring up that exception? Anyway, I consider these ideas worth sharing because I think a lot. I can't help but think, and I think about what I have done. I think about the lessons I've learned. I think about the places I have been, and I think it is possible to distill from those the elements of any story that are applicable to a human in general. At their core, my stories are clearly specific to me because I've lived them, and so are these ideas because I've thought them, and sometimes gotten them from others, but they're not as shared as I think, and here I am sharing them. But the point is, take any story, and maybe at base 20 or 30% of it has something that any human could relate to, and then branching out from there, we have different identity groups, you know? So there's some things that are purely human. There's some things that are more male or white male or straight or whatever identity groups you could file me under living here in America. I know that my stories won't apply to everyone, but that's why I want to distill them, because every story has something that I think everyone can relate to. I want to set aside these identity groups briefly with this idea that we are all our own people, and my goal is to find the few things perhaps, that we do truly all have in common. So when I share an idea, it's not because I want to find other like-minded, straight, white men and connect with them. That's also possible. You know, if that happens, I'm happy for it. But the main goal is to share things that I think humans in general would benefit from. Yeah, so zooming out even further. So the goal is to share things that I think all humans benefit from. But the larger goal is something I would consider exploratory, vaguely scientific. Imagine going to a new island and discovering a new species. But instead of an island, it is just the collective human psyche. And I'm not talking about a hive mind. I'm talking about the things we all share. Because I think we're all interested in perhaps a one-size-fits-all solution or something that you can simply act upon, but we all live such nuanced lives. However, I do think there are things in common. So what I want to focus on are the things that we could all benefit from because they are simply human things. Like these ideas I've been sharing about progress in small steps and motivating yourself to get the thing done. I mean, what human does that not apply to? That's why I want to share those ideas. I'm not here to share ideas, at least at first, about game design, because game design doesn't apply to many people. Although even those ideas can be abstracted away into things that might help people every day. You're welcome for the little bonus rhyme there. So I think I'm heading on 5 minutes here. I think I'll wrap that one up. But that is why I consider these ideas worth sharing. I hope you agree. If you agree, consider sharing the video. That would be cool.